Okay, now when discussing an infinite series, there's going to be a lot of tests that will determine the convergence or divergence of an infinite series. And so the very first test that we end up going over in this class is going to be the divergence test. Okay? So the divergence test says that, okay, given an infinite series, well, I don't necessarily have to get these numbers, but okay, if the limit as n tends towards infinity of a sub n does not equal 0, then the series is divergent. And this is a first thing that you would look at where, I mean, if the limit doesn't go to 0, you just say it is divergent and just stop, okay? So if you have something like, I don't know, the sum n equals 1 to infinity of just, I don't know, 1 to 0, which would be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus dot dot dot. Well, the limit as n tends towards infinity of 1 to the n just equals 1. Let me say, so divergent. By divergence test. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Right? And it doesn't have to converge to some number other than 1. If the limit just does not exist, if it does not exist, it does not equal 0. So if we said, let's say, the sum n equals 1 to infinity of sine of n. Well, the limit as n tends towards infinity of sine of n does not exist. Okay, so divergent by divergence test. All right, now there's something very important that you need to pay attention to on this. The divergence test only tests for divergence. It does not tell you anything about convergence at all. Hence the name divergence test, okay? So let's say we have this infinite series the sum n equals 1 to infinity of 1 divided by n, which would be 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1 divided by 4 plus dot dot dot. Now the limit as n tends towards infinity of 1 divided by n, this equals 0. It does, okay? The divergence test tells us nothing about convergence, okay? So divergence test okay? And actually, this infinite series harmonic series. Whenever we go over the integral test, I'll prove to you through the integral test that this is divergent. But the point I want to get across to y'all on this is just because the limit of the interior goes to 0, that does not mean that it's convergent. Okay? The divergence test does not tell us anything about convergence. So, yeah, that's the divergence test.